We are back and it is time for our third and final installment with this quilt. We are going to be quilting my Mrs. Quilty bundle, and which has been one of the biggest questions is how well the fabric holds up. So I'm pleased with it. I haven't had any issues with the cutting or the piecing, and so I'm excited to see how this is going to quilt up. I've got a Kona backing for it, and so we're gonna see how this all comes together. So just as a refresher, here is the quilt top. This is from one of the Fat Quarter books from Fabric Cafe. And so it is a good little size. It's a kind of like baby quilt size. I measured it out and I can get, with the fabric here, you can see it's a little wrinkly, so I'm gonna give it a good press before I get going. It got put to the side while I was doing all those Quiltmas projects and my sheep quilts. And so it needs a good pressing with my new iron, and my backing is kind of like a corally red. And so I'm gonna use that as my backing. And then I also got enough of it for my binding. That was purchased before No Buy January, so it has been sitting around for a while. So I'm gonna get this all ironed out. I'm probably gonna quilt it in some kind of florally design. I'm gonna probably go with white thread because I've got a lot of it, and I think it's not gonna overwhelm the quilt. And I'm gonna look at my flower edge to edge designs, get this all ironed out as well, and then I'll meet you over my long arm when it's time to get loaded and ready to quilt party. We are all loaded in with this starry, flowery, fabulous quilt, and we're gonna get it all quilted. So I've got the fresh cut pantograph, which is the one that I've used a good amount of times, and it's got some flowers, a little loopy back, and some zigzags. So it seems like the right fit for this, hopefully. So we're gonna go for it. I've got white thread loaded, so let's get our quilting party going. Okay, the quilting has made this so cute. Here's a little peek at the white on the red backing. It's got more of a patriotic vibe now with that red and white on the back. And I just wanted to give you a little update after the quilting. Let me not get a shadow on here. If you've quilted before and have had some of your like digitally printed fabrics where in certain spots some of the fabric can cause this like white spur kind of thing, It just happens with different ways things are printed, and it's not any means to the quality of the fabric, because I've seen it done on like things like Northcott and stuff like that. But I am very pleased to say I did not have any of that happen with this fabric. It's really holding up really well, and I am very excited to see this come together. And I may even, if I get a chance before finishing up this video, I may give it a wash test just to see how it all comes together. But that may also mean I need to find a whole bunch of color catchers, because now I have a red backing with white in my quilt. So stay tuned if I get the chance to do that. But in the meantime, I've got to take this off my frame, trim it all up, and get my binding. I need to make my binding because it's currently attached to the back right here. So super cute, so much fun. I'm excited to finish this up. Well, before we get to the binding on this quilt, let's talk about our sponsor of this video, Mrs. Quilty. So Mrs. Quilty is a subscription box for quilters of all levels. Whether you are brand new to quilting or looking to try something new, Mrs. Quilty is a fun subscription box that includes a bundle of fabric, some gifts, and some notions and tools that can help grow your quilting stash. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this so you can see the goodies that are inside. And if you're interested, you can use a link in the description box below to get a discount on your first subscription box. So here is our fun Mrs. Quilty box. So let's take a look and see what's inside. So each month you get your magazine that has all your projects. You've got a little gift goodie bag with your notions in it and gifts. And then right here, as the best of all, you've got your bundle that has 12 premium cuts of quilting fabric that you can use for either your projects in your magazine or something completely different that makes your heart happy. So if you or somebody you know is looking for a new subscription box in their life or looking to get into quilting, take a peek at Mrs. Quilty by following the link in my description box below, and you will get a one-time discount code off your first box. Now let's get back to our project. Well, if you've made it this far, you now know that you're here for the final reveal of the Shine quilt from the Fat Quarter Quilt Treats book, made with my first Mrs. Quilty bundle, and I think it turned out really cute. So here's, let me find my top. It's kind of a both direction quilt, so it can go either top this way or top this way. There's really no obvious directional fabric in this, which was really nice. And I think the flowers on there, the quilting turned out really cute. The fabric quality, like I've said before, like, I don't think it's awful. I think it's pretty good. Is it like those higher level quilt shop qualities? Not quite, but it is still 100% cotton. It's still, I didn't have any issues with my Longarm needles going through it, so that's a plus. But it quilted up so cute and so nice. The only thing I would have changed is not related to the fabric itself. I would have made this outer border a little bit wider just so it didn't disappear completely with my binding. I feel like there's a lot less of it because of that. But overall, it's still pretty cute. That red binding just kind of pops on there. And then here's the fun. Let me show you the back where it's got the white thread with the flowers. So cute. So that all came together really well. I did top stitch my binding in red just so I wouldn't have a white line going around the back. But other than that, this quilt came together really nicely. And using my AccuFlex foot sewing it, I didn't have any issues with my blocks not being the same size. I may have had to trim them down a little bit, but at this rate, that was a while ago. So I really enjoyed this pattern. I'm intrigued to see more of the fat quarter patterns from these Fabric Cafe books since I've done more of the 3 yards. And now they've released the 5 yards, so I've got lots to play with and some new things to try. So come back soon. I'm gonna drop those reveal photos in the end. I don't know if I'll have time to wash this before this video releases. And so with that, take a look at the finished photos. If you are intrigued by the Mrs. Quilty subscription box, you can get a discount on your first box using the link in the description box below. And have a happy quilty day. We'll be back real soon. All right, so I'm always nervous when I wash a quilt for the first time, so this is no exception. So I'm gonna put this in here. I've got a couple pillowcases just to help kind of knock it around a little bit. And then I am gonna grab a color catcher because we're looking at a red backing. Where are my color catchers? Okay, well, I'm gonna find my color catchers and then I'm gonna start this. So we'll see you when it's done being washed. So moment of truth here. Let's see how this turned out. Okay, we've got pillowcase 1, don't need that. Pillowcase 2, don't need that. Towel, that's fine. First color catcher, it's pinkish, so that's fine. And then there's another color catcher in here, I thought. Okay, but so far it looks like everything has held up pretty well, so it's going to go in the dryer and give it that nice crinkle. We'll see how things turn out. So here it is, nice and close post-wash, and it is all, it's so nice and crinkly and it's so soft, and I think it's so cute. I don't know who I'm going to give this to. I don't know if charities accept these washed, pre-washed. If you know of one, let me know, but that crinkle, and really the only thing that came out in the color catcher was a little tiny bit of red from the Kona. Like there's no, a little closer, there's no red bleed onto any of these whites. So I'm so excited to work on my next Mrs. Quilty project. So now that you've seen this sneaky peeky video, let's get to the real reveal and show you those final photos.